Hi, I'm Riley James, and saying my name out loud, here in this hushed studio, feels like cracking a door I've kept bolted for years. If you're listening, know that I'm not an expert on anything except ruining perfectly good things, and tonight I want to tell you about the morning I did it so thoroughly that the echo still follows me around like an off-key harmony. It was a gray Saturday in late April, one of those gentle, coffee-scented mornings when the city seems to speak in quieter tones. I woke before my partner, Evan, because I wanted to bake blueberry muffins, something small to say I saw how hard he'd been working. I remember humming, cracking eggs, and feeling, for once, calm. When the timer chimed, he padded into the kitchen with that sleep-creased grin I loved. He slipped a tiny velvet box onto the counter between us, like it was another utensil, nothing dramatic, just possibility wrapped in navy suede. My heart sprinted. I'd imagined proposals that involved candlelit terraces or airplanes skywriting our initials, but this, flower on my cheek, mismatched socks, Radiohead mumbling from the radio, felt truer than any curated scene. Yet instead of letting delight bloom, I felt dread rise, thick and certain. I heard every voice that had ever whispered I wasn't enough, teachers who said I sabotaged group projects with perfectionism, friends who joked I was fun until things got real, my own mother tracing disappointment in the air whenever I changed plans. So I laughed. A brittle, awful sound. I said, "Let's finish breakfast first," as though romance could spoil like milk if opened too early. Evan's eyebrows knitted, but he nodded. We ate in stiff silence. I talked about the weather, deadlines, anything but the box. By evening I'd convinced myself that postponing an answer was mature. 2 weeks later he took the ring back, and I pretended relief while my chest felt scraped hollow. Here's the part that hurts most. There was no dramatic fight, no hidden betrayal, just me, curling away from happiness because it asked me to risk being seen completely. I used to blame timing, stress, his delivery. The truth is simpler and colder. I destroyed my own happiness because accepting it meant believing I deserved it, and I was terrified of testing that belief. It's been 3 years. Evan's engaged to someone who beams in every photo, and I'm genuinely glad for him, but each snapshot reminds me of the life I left unopened on a kitchen counter. I'm learning, slowly, to let small joys in without interrogating them, to answer yes before my fear drafts a speech. Telling you this doesn't fix anything, yet it feels like setting down a heavy tray I've carried too far. If my story meets you at a crossroads, please, take the muffin, open the box, choose the moment that asks you to be brave. I promise the silence after regret is far louder than the crack of any door.